Hello, everyone. I'm Ashley, your host of Life After an Ego Death, and today's special guest is Jay Billig. Hello.
Ashley, for having us on here.
Oh
I'm
my,
really looking forward to our conversation.
Me too. I know that there's going to be a big message that is going to come through today because so many forces were up against us. It took us 45 minutes to hop on, and we ended up having to go on Zoom. And then once we got on, loud music was blaring, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many interruptions and distractions happening. And I'm like, man, we're having so much trouble. And right when I'm like, okay, I'm ready to give up, you were just so persistent and you just persevered. You just said, we're doing this, we're making this happen. And it did.
Well, where there's you know, where God has a way, God will find a way.
And it's so funny because normally every single time I hop on a session, I light a candle and I pray. And I said a prayer, I ask for Jesus and Mary Magdalene and the Virgin Mary to be with me so that everything goes smoothly. And I channel them and they have their hand on my shoulders, and I couldn't get the candle to light up at all. The flame kept going out, and the candle was towards its end, and the wick would just never light. And I was trying to light it the whole 45 minutes, and it refused to. It just wouldn't. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening? Oh man.
Yes, and maybe that's maybe there's a message there that you don't need the candle to you know light the flame within and allow that to be what guides you.
You're so right. And we have this eternal flame within us, this fire within us that will never go out. And I think you are right. Like we are the prayer, we are the altar, the intention, and we embody that. And the divine works through you. And that is just confirmation that they're with me always. And a friend yesterday, while we were talking, saw a little flash of white light right next to me, really close to the side of my stomach. And they're like, oh my gosh, every time I see a little orb like that, that means an angel is with you and they're really, really close to you. They're not, that is your angel. That is not, mine or anyone else's because they're on your body. And he was like, I've never seen one that close on someone's body. I see them in the aura, in the peripheral vision, but that little spark, that little just came to say hi, and that little angel wanted to be known that it was with me and wanted to make sure that he knew that an angel was by my side at all times. And that was just it was just such a beautiful message to hear and see and just know.
Yes, that's like yeah, part of this sort of preparing for the conversation, I I really didn't prepare for it. And because I really just wanted to see what came through and what questions came up between us. And
Hmm.
like that it reminds me of what you just said about the angels. I there are I get lots of communications from the other side with very many people that have moved on to their next version of life, and often they are in the form of birds, whether, sort of showing me
Hmm.
themselves or, playing in front of me, doing whatever it is, or literally like coming up and knocking on the window,
Hmm.
that kind of thing. Or literally calling out to me, in the middle of a day or whenever. I just like I hear. And just like I know, I get this confirmation of
Mm-hmm.
like the energy is just like it's a if you allow it yourself to tap into it, it's like a
Mm-hmm.
constant communication. And like my yeah, like the yesterday was an example. Yeah, I was on my way back home riding my bike and I hear these birds chirping, off in the distance above me, and I just said, you know, thank you for the reminder. And it's like more like just the reminder to be present and the reminder
Mm-hmm.
to just be in the moment of life. And so that's like, yeah, that just really is a confirmation of that. And the fact that we are here having this conversation is the allowing of the life to come through both of us
Mm-hmm.
into the world as we get lit up and you know
Yeah,
ha-
and
yeah.
I
So
love that you have a connection with birds because they are also my direct line of communication as well. And I I feed all the birds in my backyard, and the whole neighborhood from the biggest subdivision comes over, and I get to hang out with a lot of birds and a lot of cardinals, a lot of mourning doves, and I will hear them calling all day long. And I always see them, and like you said, they always want to interact with you and make sure that you see them and you're with them. And even when I'm driving, different types of birds will appear to me. And yeah, they're just always around. And I'll hear when I was doing a healing session on somebody, a mourning dove was, it sounds like an owl hooting, but it really is not an owl, guys. They're doves normally. And and I heard it calling the whole entire session, and I just knew this angelic presence is with me while I'm doing these healing sessions. And I'm glad that I'm always being guided and protected, and they're always helping, like you said, bring the light through and make sure that everyone can see us. And yeah.
but yeah, there's so many ways that so many things that I can bring forward with that, and also sort of stepping into some of the things that I feel called to sort of bring forward into the world. Um, I was given a vision um, in about 10 years ago, in 2015, little more than 10 years ago. I was at a transformational event and was given a vision of regenerative prosperity for the planet. And I was like, well, what am I supposed to do with that? And I actually asked on a little private, sort of a private question Q&A lunch with the host of the event. Bob Proctor was who it was. And I asked him on this, like, well, what do I do with this sort of information? And he said, well, there's nothing you could do about that, about, bringing people into that. The only thing that you could do is, go inside and, you know, get the answer for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, it was at the time, it was just the most unsatisfying answer I'd ever gotten to any question in my life because I, I like wanted to have a roadmap, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you can do this and this and, and just like, but there was no roadmap. Like the only answer that was appropriate was, well, go inside and get your answer. And
Mm-hmm.
so that has been a 10-year journey of going inside and allowing God to speak through. And
Mm-hmm.
it's really just connecting with that guiding light that I have been following since then. And yes, and just taking whatever the next step is toward that. And there are many things that have unfolded over those last 10 years. And it is yes, it feels like finally the time is here for this to be birthed, and
Mm-hmm.
not birthed by myself, but birthed among the world, birthed
Mm-hmm.
with others in who are willing to really allow themselves to tap into that same vision and
Mm-hmm.
be part of conversations in order to sort of bring about what that looks like. And
Mm-hmm.
there's like one has the answer to it, right? There's no one answer, but
Mm-hmm.
it is with it is by bringing people together in order to birth this for all of creation, that
Mm-hmm.
we will be able to do it. And so that is what I've been working toward, and literally have like got all of the elements in place in order to bring this in, and have had lots of different resources along the way that have been the exact right thing at the right time over those
Mm-hmm.
last 10 years. And quite literally this week is I am launching or having a recording a masterclass with sort of a live audience with masterclass in order to sort of begin the process of birthing all of this with people. And so that is
Wow.
that's sort of what I'm up to on the sort of cosmic energy scale. And
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, just allowing that to come through with people, and inviting people into that conversation. So the heart wholeness uh,
Mm-hmm.
masterclass is what I call it.
Oh my gosh, congratulations. That is such a big accomplishment. And it is so amazing to hear that, like you said, the unfolding of the past 10 years that led you to here. How incredible is that? Mm, wow.
Well, like what I also want to acknowledge is that, the just the exact perfect next step is like, that's why I'm having this conversation with you. Like that's the only reason that I'm having this conversation with you, is because I have a I was like, okay, well, where's this? Who is this person? I had no idea who you were. And just like, here is an opportunity. And when I listened to the other recording, I was like, well, yes, of course, God has an answer for this. And, we're supposed to be part of this conversation and allow this to come through my conversation with Ashley.
Exactly. And it's happening. And we did it. And I'm just smiling. I'm just so happy. Being able to hear you talk about everything that just it hits my heart, and I want to know more about what has happened to you within that 10-year span. If you could share some experiences with us.
Well, I at the beginning of the that 10-year process, I had just uh, I had just begun a relationship with someone, and it seemed there were so many things that we just really clicked on, and all of this. And after a few years, we realized that we were going very different directions, and ended up parting amicably, um, after about 4.5 years that we were together. But it was a very a solid foundation on at the time on which to sort of help birth this or bring it out in new ways. And so that was very present. And I have met others along the way that I realized were going very much the same direction and shifted in and go and working with people. I was part of a team. Sort of, I said yes to sort of divine guidance, taking me with a team of people down to Costa Rica in order to uh, bring into being a model for regenerative property and community locations that could be replicated elsewhere. And with God being at the center of the entire thing. And so that I was part of that team. I was there for a couple of years in Costa Rica. And
Wow.
when I went, I went there in near the end of 2020. And I knew when I went that I sort of had this much that was sort of one step in this much bigger process,
Hmm.
and that I wasn't necessarily meant to be there the entire time, but that was a seed very well planted in
Hmm.
order to sort of help birth this bring this creation into the world. And so now I am in a place where it is taking those things that I learned, that I didn't just learn them, but I'm still connected, with that movement, the earth waking movement that is there, and sort
Hmm.
of, anchored in Costa Rica at the earth waking village, and b- allowing for multiple locations of these communities and God anchored, leave your ego at the door kind of
Hmm.
places uh being birthed into the world. And I I have I've been able to put in place other other uh what's the word I'm looking for? Other sort of guardrails. That's not the word I'm looking for exactly. Other structures like a legal church structure and a auxiliaries of the church in order to allow this whole thing to come forward. And so that is all part of my because of my association with Earth Waking and sort of saying yes to the vision that was there when I was there. Um, another another piece of it is um, I've always been a little bit on the odd side in my life,
Hmm.
and I've always kind of done things my own way, and I've had many of my own sort of
Hmm.
my own businesses, and sort of done. Yeah, always done. I called my work up to a certain point J things, and I had a architectural design and other things that I did within that, but it was always in this context of uh, in this spiritual context also. That was part of my sort of my upbringing, and I was very much on a spiritual journey as much as I was ever on a business development kind of journey my entire life. And so the Church of the Whole Place is the church that I have founded, and it is like yes, I see the foundations of that, that were set, many decades ago, even though the organization, the Church of the Whole Place, was only set up about a year ago or less than a year ago. So, but that is there. And um,
Wow.
oh, another thing that I discovered along the way, I was given a as a gift by one of the one of the sort of team of seven of us that went down to help birth help birth the first Earthwaking village. On the first leg of our journey, we were in Mexico, and uh, she gifted all of us a uh, reading from the Akashic Records by somebody who she had been connected with, and so I was given that, and this woman who provided that service and did the readings, um, she had done many hundreds of readings for people and you know
Hmm.
gotten information for lots of different people. And she told me that I was the only blueprinter that she had ever met. So, and
Wow.
I didn't even know what that was, but I guess it's part of sort of this. It's part of being able to, and I don't know, this isn't, I'm just like making this up because I don't really even know what all of that necessarily means. There are probably other people, maybe you know a lot more about that than I do. Um, um, but that's sort of um, part of my being here on Earth at this time is,
Wow.
you know, with that.
I have some stuff to say after. So you are the blueprint, right? And that means that you expressing your authentic self is what everyone should be, is you. Like you just being yourself and doing whatever you need to do in this world, whatever you're called to do. Like y everyone is supposed to be exactly like you. Like that's the future. And it's so incredible because I read the Akashic records. Um, and when I was hearing your story, I was like, wow, this person has just like anchored in the light and really the good work and you build. And that's what you did. Like you're building all these places for all these people to go to. And that is, I'm just, oh my gosh, like I'm just so wow, this is just so incredible to meet you and experience you because I've heard of you and they're showing me um this blue light. You're this blue light being and everywhere you step, you are like putting the light into the earth everywhere you go. And that's why you're able to be a master builder in make these structures out of thin air for everyone. And I'm just getting so emotional because I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy that that you're here right now and I'm able to experience you.
That silence is just a
It is
heart
me.
connecting.
It's me
Yes.
bowing down to you. I was bowing down to you with honor and cherishing you and respecting you and in tears and just seeing you and applauding you. And that's what I was doing in this pause and silence is this deep reverence. They tell me that I am the blueprint too. And I think that's why I'm emotional to have you as a reflection because I'm at the start of this and you've done this for 10 years. And your heart, the electromagnetic field of your heart is so powerful and it has taken you places. And I trust and I know because they tell me that I am going places too and that I'm going to be doing what you are doing. And I said, prove it. And then you came on here today. And so it is.
We get through it together, Ashley.
Yes. I'm just
We get to
overflowing.
see it together.
I'm just overwhelmed and I'm overflowing with so much gratitude and so much love and I'm crying. It, it's beautiful. You have very powerful energy. I am trying to breathe, allowing it to happen.
You might have better it it's funny. I might have short like I have this ability. I don't know. It just seems to be getting sharper and sharper. Um, like I have been able to really see, well, sort of experience, um, the experience, sort of take in something for what it's worth, and really identify in an instant, like the darkness and light.
Hmm.
And like it's funny that we got zapped out of the Riverside app or whatever, but I've
Hmm.
just had this feeling like the second I got on there, when I created an account earlier today, like I just had this feeling this is like the dark energy world of
Hmm.
this entire platform. And I just like maybe I subconsciously short circuited it in so that you no longer have to be on there.
Yeah, maybe I should just record on Zoom and, just use that to publish.
You can also, well, you can record video too on Zoom. But yeah, it definitely works either way.
Yeah, eventually I'll get to the video. But right now it is just my
Yeah, just
voice.
the audio.
And sometimes people can't have eye contact with me, and that's okay. Um, my eye contact is very intense, and my energy is too. And that's why I'm just using my voice for now.
Well, it is a very powerful voice indeed.
Thank you. Well, we only have 7 minutes left. I have a timer there's a timer counting down. So if you have any final thoughts to share with anyone listening.
Well, the final thoughts the final thoughts I have are simply an invitation to come out of your come out of your hiding, come out of your silo, come out of your forever um, independent, and share a meal, share a conversation, share a community, and be part of the process, be part of the
Mm-hmm.
recreation of humanity and consequently all of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Join us in
Yeah.
birthing, and the invitation is to be part of that now. We can't, we're on the edge of a cliff and there we're on the precipice of the cliff and trust your heart to go ahead and step off and know that you are definitely not falling down, but being carried up, being drawn up into a completely different level of conscious awareness
Mm-hmm.
that will allow for all of us to, well, this is what we're stepping into, a conscious awareness where all of us know everything all the time. And it is there is no possibility for the ego to do its business in this level of conscious awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And let us all be that as and stepping to that together. Let's create these communities. Let's create what humanity and the earth deserves.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That was beautifully said, and I couldn't say it better myself. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this raw, rare, vulnerable experience. And it was very sacred. So sorry if you heard me crying, but that's just because this is authenticity being expressed. This is the highest form of love being expressed. And that's what it feels like.